Hey guys, it's Malcolm from Automotive Addicts. Today I have the 2020 Mercedes-AMG CLA 35. Now the CLA 35, which slots behind the CLA 45 from last year and above the CLA 250, has a 2.0 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine for 302 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque. Now, as you can see, it is a compact vehicle, compact luxury vehicle. It competes directly with stuff like the Audi S3 and the BMW M235 Grand Coupe that I had a few weeks back. If you want to look at that video, you can get that link down below. But anyway, the CLA 35 is a pretty hot item. It kind of reminds me of the days of the sport compact cars, you know, the hot pocket rocket cars, you know, something like the GTI, the Golf R, you know, stuff that's small like that, but relatively quick. As far as being quick, I don't mean, you know, take your breath away quick, but it's no slouch. 0 to 60 is about 4.6 seconds. It does pretty good for what it is. It's a nicely built vehicle. It's very tight. It is on the small side. I'm not gonna lie there. I'm a pretty big guy, 6'3". I do fit up front. Out back, I can pretty much forget about it. Trunk space, pretty small. You got only a little over 8 cubic feet, like 8.6 cubic feet. What's neat though, I don't know if you saw that, for releasing the trunk, push the emblem in, and actually the emblem acts both as, you know, opening the trunk and reveals the camera. It's under this cover under here. The camera will pop out, the rear view camera. Actually, this vehicle does have a 360-degree view camera. In true AMG form, of course, you're going to have some bigger exhaust pipes back here, nice diffuser. You know, you got your sporty accents throughout the car, 19-inch wheels, and up front, these are some massive brakes for such a small car. You have 4-piston calipers up front here, cross-drill rotors. Rotors are pretty big. And the tires are 245/35 19s squared up on all 4 corners. Now this car is all-wheel drive. That's the only way this car comes. It is front-wheel drive base, so you notice the longitudinal mount engine once I pop the hood. At the heart of the CLA 35, the 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, 302 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. You can actually see the turbo right here. It is a gem of an engine, I think. It is mated to a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. The 7-speed, it does have some quirks about it. I'll show you in a minute once we take it for a drive. But overall, it's snappy shifting, very direct, of course, and it does allow the slipping of the clutch. But overall, the design of the CLA is stunning. It kind of takes after the CLS, the bigger CLS, with that coupe design. You know, the sloping roof, of course. Got your neat little spoiler back here. Overall, I like the styling. It's a sharp, compact luxury car. Moving to the interior of the CLA 35, at your aluminum trim here, real aluminum, of course. There are a lot of soft touch areas throughout the dash, door trim and everything. The seats are actually pretty amazing. They're heavily bolstered seats. You can see the depth here, how deep they go, the bolsters. Got your thigh extender here, manual thigh extender. They are actually comfortable seats, believe it or not, even though they look pretty tight. Even for me being a big guy, I'd still fit in the seats pretty well, and they're very supportive. Out back is very tight. Of course, for a 6-foot person, your head will touch the ceiling. You have your rear vents right here. You have a couple USB-C ports, cup holders, armrest. Pretty sporty seats out back. They have a little bit of bolstering themselves. Nice accent stitching. Door trim. Got some Alcantara-like, suede-like material here in the door trim. The large glass sunroof does open and slide. Your memory seats, seat controls, automatic LED headlights with auto high beam. Alright, getting in the 2020 Mercedes-AMG CLA 35. Start it up. Now, first off, what you'll notice is customary to new Mercedes designs, their new MBUX infotainment system. The 2 screens they have for the instrument cluster and your infotainment screen. Now in the CLA 35, because it is a compact car, the screens are smaller than what you find on the other Mercedes, the larger Mercedes, mid-size and larger S-Class of course. These are actually individual 10.25 inch screens versus the 12.3 inch screens that you get on the other Mercedes vehicles with the MBUX infotainment system. But you still have the functionality that you normally find in the new MBUX system from Mercedes. And here's the steering wheel. You have your adaptive cruise control over here, your home button, and you have these neat little touch capacitive buttons to control the infotainment system over here. There are many ways to control the infotainment system, of course. It is a touch screen, very clear, high resolution screen, very responsive for most things. Right here, quickly you have your seat kinetic system, which it acts kind of like a, not a seat massage per se, but it actually moves your seat every minute or so, just to prevent fatigue for when you're traveling on long trips. Down here you have your touchpad for controlling the system up here. You have a quick access home button, your seat buttons for the audio system, back button. You have your camera button down here, dedicated camera for the 360 degree view camera, and your parking sensors. A quick access for the vehicle itself, your favorites, manual control for the transmission, stability traction control disable, adaptive damper setting, your navigation map, and your radio, media, telephone button, and your volume button, of course, right here, as you usually find on Mercedes vehicles of late. I'm moving back to the steering wheel. What Mercedes does, they're incorporating these small little screens inside here. You can actually push them for a preset individual drive mode setting, or turn it for your drive mode settings. And over here you can have this configured too for certain settings throughout the vehicle for drive controls. What's really neat about Mercedes interiors of late is the ambient lighting. The ambient lighting is truly amazing. I have to give Mercedes credit. I don't know if you can see some of the ambient lighting right now, but I'll give you a little clip of nighttime ambient lighting in this car. The vents light up all the time, they stay lit. Right here you have this nice effect coming up here, and your LED lines through here and over here on the door panels. And here is a quick nighttime interior shot of the CLA 35. You have to love Ben's latest interior ambient lighting. It's just amazing. And of course these colors are all configurable. You go over here to the air conditioner controls and you go up for make the temperature warmer, and the vents turn the ambient soft red. You go cold, they turn blue. Warm, cold. It's just remarkable, and Mercedes always does a great job with their ambient lighting. It's 64 color, believe it or not, configurable inside the MBUX infotainment system. But overall, the design of the interior is a nice cohesive design. The fit and finish is great. There are several soft touch areas, but there are a lot of hard plastics. Of course, down here, hard plastics. The lower door cards are hard plastic, but you do have a nice combination of materials throughout. Like I said, the suede, and then the soft touch up here with the stitching throughout the dashboard. And there is no hood in the dashboard, of course, but that does not bother anything. You don't have any crazy reflections or glare off of the screen. They angle it perfectly. Mercedes has done well with this screen. All right, setting off in the 2020 Mercedes-AMG CLA 35. Now, what this car reminds me of is the BMW M235 Grand Coupe that I had a few weeks back. You can view that video by clicking the link below. I'll link it to you. But overall, it is very compact. Like I said before, it reminds me of sport compact cars of many years ago, 10-15 years ago, the pocket rockets they had. The vehicle weighs about a little over 3,400 pounds, which is pretty much in line with the BMW as well. They're not far off from each other. Driving the CLA 235, the AMG, starting off in the default comfort mode, which it starts up in comfort mode no matter what you leave it in when you turn the vehicle off, of course. The vehicle feels very soft. The suspension has adaptive dampers. They have 3 different settings for comfort, sport, and a sport plus setting. In the comfort mode, the dampers are very soft. The body will actually bounce around in the back a little bit, going over bumps and such on the road. Now in sport mode, things tighten up quite a bit. In sport plus mode, they tighten up quite a bit, a lot. But it's not to the point where it's bouncy or jiggly or uncomfortable. Actually, I like driving in the sport plus for the suspension mode. And of course, with the individual mode you can switch to here, I have it already pre-configured for a lot of the Sport Plus settings on the drive mode, the transmission, and the adaptive dampers itself. Now, as far as the transmission goes, I don't want to say it's a mixed bag, but almost. It's just in the smoothness of the transmission. Granted, in comfort mode, the transmission is more relaxed and acts like a traditional automatic transmission. You have 7 gears to work with in the dual clutch transmission, the DCT. But the transmission does shift abruptly and hard in Sport Plus mode. It keeps the lower gears more active, of course. It hardly ever hits 7th gear unless you're cruising maybe 90 miles per hour. Don't ask me how I know this. The 7-speed dual clutch transmission, it's pretty smooth. It does do a lot of slipping of the clutch coming out of the hole from a dead stop. Now, that does have a launch mode, which I'll demonstrate here in a second, as I always do on Automotive Addicts. In my test drive videos, I will do a 0 to 60 test in the cars. The manual shifting mode on this is very, very fun. You do have a neat shift light that illuminates in the front of the dashboard of the 10.25-inch screen. But we'll go ahead and demonstrate the launch mode real quick. What you do is just put it in Sport Plus quickly, and then you have to turn your stability and traction control into a sport mode. And simply just stop the vehicle, make sure your road's clear, left foot on the brake hard, right foot on the gas real hard, and when you're ready to go, let off of the brake. It says race start, release brake to start, and here it goes. It does shift very hard. 50, 60, just like that. 0 to 60 is about 4.6, 4.5 seconds. The engine is, like I said, a gem. I like this engine. It's very robust for a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, 2.0 liter. Out back, you did get some exhaust sounds, some pops, a little bit of unspent fuel going through there, especially in Sport Plus mode. It opens the exhaust up quite a bit. I like the sound it makes for a 4-cylinder. It sounds pretty good for a turbocharged 4-cylinder. Fuel consumption is not what I expected for a 4-cylinder compact luxury vehicle. However, it is an AMG vehicle. You get about 23 miles per gallon in city, 29 miles per gallon highway, and 25 miles combined. Now the CLA 35 slots in between the CLA 250, which has a other turbocharged version of this engine, which is a lot less horsepower, of course, and the CLA 45, which is last year's model. They don't have a CLA 45 redesigned for this year yet. Now I've covered the infotainment system, the Mercedes-Benz User Experience MBUX infotainment system in other vehicles. It actually picks up your voice pretty well for dictating certain vehicle functions. You can actually open the sunshade and stuff like that just by a voice command. Overall, the CLA 35 with quite a bit of extra packages on there to include your safety systems, your surround view camera system, your adaptive cruise control, your 64 color ambient lighting, your adaptive headlights, LED headlights with auto high beams. You're looking at about $62,000. Now for a regular A-class sedan, you can get one starting off a little over $33,000. But overall, I like the CLA 35 AMG. It's a nice little compact package. You know, somebody that wants entry-level luxury vehicle with some performance. You got all the add-ons as far as the looks, the aggressive looks, you know, in the true AMG style, the black wheels, you know, the aggressive front end with black trim, your black diffuser out back. It looks pretty mean, the whole package all together. $62,000. I don't know if it's, if that price is the right price for such a vehicle. At the end of the day, I like it for what it is. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, come back later, check out my other videos, and until then, I will catch you guys in the next one.